Here's your news for May 26, 2020. And your headlines for today include Rey Mysterio's retirement set for next week, Sami Zayn return plans revealed, yet another released WWE superstar returns, Matt Riddle reportedly getting WWE main roster call-up very soon, Shayna Baszler shares her genuine frustration on 3 WWE superstars, WWE teasing marriage issues for Natalya and Tyson Kidd, why Vince McMahon waited so long to bring back live crowds, and more. We're kicking off today with news regarding Rey Mysterio, as a retirement ceremony for the masked superstar has been confirmed for next week's Raw. This follows on from Mysterio having his eye grinded into the steel steps by Seth Rollins, something that WWE is describing as a critical injury, and this follows reports that Mysterio has yet to sign a new deal with WWE, but it's likely he will. Mysterio's contract is up in a few months, and the company gave him a 10-month clause on his contract as they didn't want him to get involved in anything long-term if he hasn't re-signed. Of course, this ceremony is part of an angle, and given that Rey's alleged retirement will presumably lead to a match against the Monday Night Messiah, it certainly looks likely he'll stay with WWE. From Raw to SmackDown next, as we've got news from Sami Zayn, as plans have emerged on when fans can expect the former Intercontinental Champion back. After capturing the title this year, Zayn was stripped of the gold following a decision not to appear due to the ongoing global situation, with a tournament set to crown a new champion. Now, cage-side seats have stated that fans can expect the underdog from the underground sooner than expected, as they reported, "The expectation is Sami Zayn will work a program with whoever wins the Intercontinental Championship tournament, per the Wrestling Observer newsletter. It's likely that the tournament will end, possibly with a face capturing the gold, which would justify the tournament, and a subsequent feud with the returning heel Zayn. It'll be interesting to see how the former champion will be treated upon his return, and although the current situation doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon, it seems fans will be seeing Sami Zayn sooner rather than later." From one superstar return to another next, and after a brief break from the company due to his contract recently lapsing, it seems that Drew Gulak is back. After leaving the company not too long ago, Gulak's profile was moved to the alumni section on WWE.com, but has now been moved back to the active roster section, with PW Insider reporting that he is indeed back with WWE. In addition to this, Fightful Select is reporting that Gulak worked a Battle Royal on this week's SmackDown taping, and this is a very unique situation given that Gulak's departure and return were never officially announced. Though his departure was never announced by WWE, Gulak was confirmed to have left the company on May 16th as the two parties came to an impasse during negotiations. The two sides have now arrived at a number which both are fine with, leading to the former Cruiserweight Champion signing with the company. Whatever the truth is, it certainly seems like the former Cruiserweight Champion is back, and it looks like Daniel Bryan won't be needing a new tag team partner or coach after all. Over to NXT now, and given that Matt Riddle recently lost the NXT tag team titles, it seems that the King of Bros isn't going to be on the gold brand for much longer. In his daily update, Dave Meltzer explained Riddle's situation, saying, "Matt Riddle's main roster debut right now is scheduled to be imminent, so his cage match with Timothy Thatcher could either be his blow-off or lead to it." Riddle's upcoming cage fight with Timothy Thatcher, which will be officiated by Kurt Angle, is likely to be brutal, but it might also serve as a send-off for the King of Bros. With that said, it's no secret that WWE higher-ups have had a problem with Riddle, who has spoken openly about that, as this all makes for an interesting situation. Back to Raw now, and this week's 3-hour show saw WWE try out a new angle with Natalya that got a bit real. Whilst the Queen of Hearts was cutting a pre-match interview ahead of her Raw Women's title #1 Contenders triple threat match, a phone call came from her husband Tyson Kidd, and though we couldn't hear his side of the story, she didn't sound happy at all. When Natalya got back to the interview, she was told they'd run out of time, which clearly annoyed her, and it looks like WWE could be doing a storyline regarding the pair's marriage issues. The irony of this is that Kidd and Natalya are arguably the closest relationship in WWE, as the pair met when they were children and have been inseparable since. This was a very interesting segment, as Kid works backstage in WWE as a producer, and whilst fans didn't see him on this occasion, it's possible that the Heart Dungeon graduate could be returning to WWE TV very soon. Though Natalya was part of the #1 Contenders triple threat match on Raw alongside Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax, one woman who wasn't was Shayna Baszler, who went to Twitter to make her feelings known. On social media, the Queen of Spades pointed out that all three women in the match were second or third generation superstars and implied that was the reason they were chosen, saying, "Unfortunately, I didn't have relatives climb the ladder for me, so all I can do is keep winning until I get there myself. #Raw." It is questionable that Shayna was overlooked for the #1 Contenders match, especially as she's defeated Natalya not once but twice in the past couple of weeks. And we have to expect the Queen of Spades to be next in line for a championship match. Back to WWE now, and we've got news from Alexa Bliss, who has unfortunately had to deal with some very unpleasant comments online. Recently, one online personality named JD described Bliss's work in the ring with a comparison to how she'd be in bed, saying that she just lays there. These comments understandably got under Bliss's skin, who made an exception to her no replying to trolls rule, saying, "Normally I ignore his ignorance because all he wants is to be recognized by bashing me, but freaking excuse me, sir? How dare you discredit my work in such a disgraceful way? #what a class act." The two-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion also said that JD is now blocked, and added that he's the kind of person who badmouths her behind a microphone but will wait in line to meet her at Access. Bliss wasn't the only superstar to comment on the situation, as Sonya Deville added that she hopes to meet the podcaster one day, and we expect the former MMA star would deliver a very painful lesson about respecting women. Braun Strowman didn't take kindly to these comments about his Team Little Big partner either, as he argued that JD doesn't even know what it's like to be in bed with a woman, and said he should stick to talking about wrestling, something he can pretend he knows. Rhea Ripley also branded the comments disgusting, whilst Paige, who has had to deal with plenty of trolls herself, called JD a disgrace and praised Bliss's work in the ring. This being the internet, JD isn't backing down, saying that it is a fact that Bliss does no work in the ring, which of course is not a fact, as fans can see her compete and do things in the ring on a weekly basis. JD's comments are particularly distasteful as they come shortly after Hana Kamaru took her own life due to online trolls, and while the podcaster may have had his 15 minutes of fame, it's nothing compared to the heights Bliss has achieved throughout her career. We've got some huge news regarding WWE's fans next, as last night's show saw the return of a crowd atmosphere to the Red brand. During the show, wrestlers could be seen and heard acting as the crowd for the show, with many of the superstars from NXT being used to help create some noise in the empty Performance Center. Dominik Dijakovic, Chelsea Green, Shotzi Blackheart, Jessamyn Duke, and other NXT superstars who are on television, as they provided some noise to the Red brand whilst maintaining a safe distance from one another. Now, Fightful is reporting that to pull this off, WWE used outdoor air-conditioned tents to keep superstars safe, but at least one tent didn't have the luxury of a cool breeze. It's also been reported that everyone was kept out of the building in order to conform with current protocol, and given that AEW is also using wrestlers to help generate some buzz during their shows, it's great that both companies are getting closer to how things were before. Raw won't be the only show this week to have a crowd, as it's also been reported that the same tactic will be used for SmackDown, as things certainly seem to be getting back to normal. With that in mind, many people have been wondering why did WWE wait so long to bring back some form of crowd atmosphere, and a source for Wrestling News may have provided the answer. They said, "The reason why WWE waited so long to make the decision was that Vince McMahon felt it was a bad look on the company to have so many people seated in the Performance Center during a time when social distancing is being pushed by the health experts." It'll be interesting to see how WWE handles this new crowd atmosphere in the current global situation, and then time will tell when WWE feels ready to allow actual fans back into their arenas. Speaking of the boss, we all know that Vince McMahon is a busy man, but that didn't mean he was too busy to praise one of his superstars. On Twitter, McMahon praised Roman Reigns on the Big Dog's 35th birthday, noting Roman's reigns as WWE and Universal Champion, as well as his successful battles with leukemia, describing the former champion as a guiding light to countless people around the globe. This is certainly a noteworthy tweet, as McMahon had previously ordered Roman's name not to be used on TV, and while that still may be the case, the boss looks like he's over whatever issues the pair have had. Back to Raw next, as this week's show saw another huge match be added to the Backlash card. After the intense triple threat match we mentioned earlier, it was Nia Jax who got the win, pinning Natalya following a Samoan drop just after the former SmackDown Women's Champion had been in the Figure 4. Now Jax will face Raw Women's Champion Asuka at the pay-per-view on June 14th, and in addition to WWE Champion Drew McIntyre facing Bobby Lashley, a handicap Universal title match, and the alleged greatest wrestling match ever between Edge and Randy Orton, the Backlash card is coming together nicely. We've got some interesting news from the WWE's business side, as though we all know the company tries to trademark as much as they can, they recently let something big go. It turns out that WWE abandoned their trademark for the term Rated R Superstar last Thursday, after they filed for the nickname on April 5th, the same day Edge made his in-ring singles return at WrestleMania. Interestingly, this isn't the only time WWE has abandoned the trademark, as they previously ditched it in January 2014 after reapplying for it in September 2012. With this in mind, it's entirely possible that the WWE could end up filing for the Rated R moniker once again, but until then, the name is free to trademark for anyone who feels they're more R-rated than the 11-time former WWE World Heavyweight Champion.